Hey y'all, Jordan here from The Crafted Piglet again, and today's video I'm going to show you guys how to make a men's surgical cap. Women can wear this as well. Doesn't matter, it goes either way, but this one looks a little bit more manly for the man in your life who might not want to wear the patterned cap that I did for you guys in the last video. This pattern is by the same pattern designer as the last surgical cap that I made, and we'll make sure to put the link in the description box of the exact pattern that I use and where you can get it from. It is an instant download. It's a PDF download, so as soon as you purchase these patterns, you can immediately download it and you can go ahead and start sewing it. I will probably try to put something at the end of the video so that you have directions on how to actually access your pattern after you purchase the pattern from her shop. These hats are really quick and really easy to make. So without anything further, let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and print off your pattern piece. There's 4 pieces in this pattern. And then you will take your fabric and fold them right sides together, so the pretty side face together. There are 2 pieces that need to be cut on the fold. These are those 2 pieces, so make sure you line your pattern piece up against the fold where the arrows are pointing and trace around your pattern, and then do the same thing for the other one that needs to be cut on the fold as well. The other 2 pieces don't have to be cut on the fold. You can just fit those in your pattern wherever, trace around them, and then cut everything out. Next, you need to transfer any pattern markings that are on your pattern pieces to the wrong sides of your pattern pieces. And remember, the wrong side is the non-pretty side, the non-pattern side. I usually just line up the pattern piece on top of my cutout pieces and just mark where the lines are. I find it's just a lot easier to do that. That way I'm not trying to measure and draw lines and then risk messing something up. So make sure you do this for all of your pattern pieces. That way you don't have to go back and do any of this later. It's just easier to do it all in one step than to do it, right before each time you go to sew something. Next, take the back part of the brim piece and you're going to fold it and iron it on that line, and then you're going to fold the raw edge of your fabric in halfway to the line, and then again over where you pressed with the iron on that line. And then you're just going to stitch right along that inner edge. Now we're going to attach the back part of the brim piece to the front half of the brim piece. Just put them right sides together and line them up along the edges. And then you're going to sew 3/8 of an inch along each edge of the brim piece. Once you've done that, it'll look like this, and flip it over. I recommend pressing the seams open and then just encasing those raw edges inside of each other. That way you don't have any fraying of the fabric. I find that if you go ahead and do this step now, it just makes it a lot easier and it makes the hat look a little bit more professional. This is what it will look like when it's done. It just encases all those raw edges, like I said, and just gives it an extra dimension. When you're all done, it'll look like this. And now we're going to hem the bottom of the hat. So again, you'll just fold your fabric over on the line, press it, and then fold it up to the line, and then again folding at the line, and then just stitching along that inner edge. This is what it looks like when you're done. And then now we're going to make our fabric ties. So first fold it in half, press it, and then fold each edge inward halfway. And then you're going to fold the ends of the tie down and press it so that you can encase those raw edges. This is kind of weird to describe how to do, so I hope that you can see what I'm doing just based off of the video. And then I'm just going to add some clips just to make it easier so that, everything stays in place. And again, we want to make sure that we encase those raw edges along both ends. That'll just, again, keep things from fraying. And then you'll just stitch all along the edge where the raw edges would be. And there you go. There's your tie. And now we're going to attach it to the hat. You're just going to attach it where the edge and the bottom of the brim back meet. And then you're going to sew it in a square. Do the same thing for the other side as well. And it should be nice and taut and strong. Now we're going to work on our crown piece, and we're going to make our elastic encasing. So again, like you've done with everything else, press it over the line, fold it up to the line, fold it over, and then stitch along that inner edge. Once you have done that, you can take your elastic, or I'm just using a Goody's hair tie and cutting it in half, and I attach it to a safety pin. Just makes it easier to put through the casing, and then you'll just smush it in there and squish it all through. And you'll kind of just gather as you go. Yeah, you can see exactly what I'm doing. I don't need to explain it. All right, once you've done that, you want to sew along one edge just so that you keep that elastic in place. Once you've done that, you should be able to tug on it and it is secure. Trim off any excess that you have on the end. And now we're going to take a ruler and we're going to scrunch everything down, kind of gather everything up until it measures 2.5 inches across. And once you've done that, then you will take it over to the sewing machine and sew along the other edge. And then this is what it looks like when you're done. And you can just, again, cut off the excess and use it for later. Now we're going to attach our crown piece to our brim. So you take your fabric pieces and you're going to put them right sides together. So the pretty pattern sides together. You're going to take the one edge of the elastic and attach it to the top half of the back brim piece. And again, just pin it all the way around with your right sides together. Pin however much you want. It's a curve, so it could be tricky. When you're done pinning, then you're going to sew 3/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way around. And when you're done, it will look like this. There's some excess fabric. I just take my pinking shears and trim off just a little bit along the edges. I leave maybe 1/4 of an inch, if even that much, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, as I'm cutting around, because we're going to fold that raw edge down and sew it all the way around the hat. And I'm just cutting off some excess elastic there. And again, you're just going to fold everything over and stitch all the way along as close to that raw edge as you can. And again, this just helps make it look a little bit nicer, a little more professional. If you have a serger, you can use a serger, but there you go. And then once you've done that, your hat is all finished. It looks so nice and it's ready to be worn and ready to go. And then this is what it looks like when it's all done. All right, let's go get our pattern. So go into your Etsy, click on purchases and reviews, then click on the pattern you're wanting to print off. Click on download files, and then scroll down until you see the little cloud, click on it, and then you should be able to print it from here. All right, y'all, that's all I have for you today. Next week, I will do another surgical hat, scrub hat, for people like me who like to wear their hair in a ponytail. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.